Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel, and furthermore, welcome back to yet another exciting figure review. Tonight we're taking a look at the Dungeons & Dragons Mimic figurine with sound. And you can see a nice glamour shot of the Mimic there, with its mouth open wide, bearing sharp fangs and a long thrashing tongue. Really cool. Side of the box is red with a nice drawing of the Mimic there, and it's by RP Minis. The back of the box, you can see another glamour shot, and then the two prices for US and Canadian. So it's $14.95 US and $19.50 Canadian. Of course, the Canadians gotta pay more for it. Anyway, looks like a normal chest to you. Surprise! It's a Mimic, this deluxe collectible, one of Dungeons & Dragons' most iconic monsters, includes a growling sound and a tongue that pops out when opened. Set also includes a mini guide to taking care of your new pet. Requires 2 AAA batteries, which are not included. You got Wizards of the Coast 2025, LLC, www.runningpress.com, and then ages 6 and up. The other side of the box, you got the training guide there, looking really cool. And then the top of the box, you have the Dungeons & Dragons logo with the Mimic figurine. So with that being said, that pretty much wraps up the box on this thing. So I'm going to take a few minutes to get this one unboxed. Don't go away, there's more figure review to be had. Alright, here is the Mimic and the Training Your New Mimic guidebook out of the packaging. So first up, I'll talk a little bit about the book before we take a look at the main event, the Mimic itself. So the guidebook is seemingly written by this character, Dame Beatrice J. Delacroix, and it is basically like a guide, a very small guide, but sort of meant to be like a pet owner's manual, right? You've received this Mimic through very shady reasons, and now it's your pet, and you gotta figure out how to take care of it. So there's a lot of things like your Mimic could mimic one of your furniture, and you won't be able to find it. You might think you've lost your Mimic, or your Mimic could bite parts of your body off, you dismember you, or it could even attach its sticky tongue to you, right? So definitely not the most ideal pet, but this sort of reads like a small guide to the misadventures of owning such a dangerous creature as a pet. So that's basically the book here. And then, of course, we have the Mimic itself. Looking really cool. I like the spikes here. I wish they were painted purple, because in the monster manual art, they are painted. But it's got these nice metallic orange eyes. It's got these metallic purple gums here. The teeth are pretty yellowed. There's a nice gunmetal gray that's kind of dry brushed almost to make it look withered for like the metal parts of the chest. And then it's got this wood effect here with what looks like a little bit of a wash to bring out all of those wood textures. Back of the box here says Dungeons & Dragons there, kind of looking like it was carved into the back of the Mimic. Bottom here has like the spot where you would put the batteries in. There's already batteries in this, so we'll go into the sounds in just a few minutes, but the profile of this thing looks pretty cool. Definitely a nice little novelty to have if you like the Mimic creature from Dungeons & Dragons. So let's take a look at the sound feature. So yeah, when you open it up, it makes a chest creaking sound, and then makes a sort of raspy hissing sound. And of course, you can also put a stop to the sound by closing it before it's done its whole thing. So that's really cool, and then inside the mouth here, I don't know if you can see it on camera here. You can see it a little bit. You can see the speaker is inside the mouth, as I'd expect it to be, and you can see, like, when the mouth is open, you can see these kind of here on the side holding the fleshy mouth inside. And it doesn't just have sharp teeth, it's got more human-like teeth going into the back of the mouth, which is interesting. Even the top of the mouth there, you've got all of that flesh look there, which is really, really cool. Definitely, it's a nice little mimic figure to have. Now, I don't know if you'd really play with this. This is more of like a novelty, but it's still really cool to have. I definitely think this is an awesome little mimic figurine. And with that being said, I guess we'll go into some comparisons with some mimic miniatures that I have in the collection. First up for comparison, we have this official Dungeons & Dragons mimic figurine with a sound feature next to some mimic miniatures. These are pre-painted, and I believe this came from the Mimic Colony. So it came with a bunch of mimics. Here's just two of the mimics. You got the closet one and the regular chest mimic. And here it is next to the Dungeons & Dragons 50th anniversary mimics. I painted these myself, and I think I did a pretty decent job. This is a nice little set. For 20 bucks, it's not bad. You'll get yourself a really cool mimic figure, which does a great job at capturing the likeness of the mimic in the monster manual artwork for D&D 5th edition, I think it is. What's the current version of the creature that's out? But yeah, it definitely does a great job of capturing that official artwork. And I love the fact that it has noises. You can hear the creaking chest as you open it and the raspy hissing of the mimic. And you even get a cute little training guide, as this is supposed to be a pet mimic, right? You've ordered or somehow gotten your hands on this mimic through probably shady dealings, and now you have yourself an exotic pet mimic, which nothing good can probably come from. But it's a cool little set. I love the little lore bit of having this be like a pet, and it's super cool. I love the mimic as a creature in D&D, so of course I naturally like this, but this is just a nice thing to have if you want like a little Dungeons & Dragons little knickknack to sit on your desk as you're working your 9 to 5, or just something to fidget with while you're playing Dungeons & Dragons whenever you play Dungeons & Dragons with the crew, right? With that being said, hope you guys enjoyed, do take care, have a great night, and I'll see you in the next video.